Hey everyone, today we have some AskReddit. And the question of today is, why are you not subscribed to ReadIT on Reddit? We here posting Reddit videos and having fun with the boys and girls. People of Reddit in virtual classes, what was the worst, oops I left my camera/mic on, moment? 5th grade student's mom in the background, at full volume, well you tell that mother fudger that the next time I see him I'm cutting his fucking balls off, as I try desperately to figure out which one is unmuted and mute them. Poor girl was totally unfazed, so she likely hears similar all the time. Everyone else just stared in shock for a couple of seconds until one kid just unmutes and goes, "That's not school appropriate language at all." Another student, different time, had Nana wander through the background, completely nude. Using a walker, so she's just slowly limping through frame. Either I'm the only one who noticed, or these 10-year-olds have amazing poker faces, but I have no idea how I would have dealt with the fallout of that if they'd said anything. I just took to loudly reminding students that anything we can see in the camera counts as part of school and needs to be dressed, or seated appropriately, in the hopes that families hear. We had a guy in his car, unmutes his mic during a presentation to answer a question, and forgot to mute. Presentation carries on and then we abruptly hear him start ordering his lunch from Burger King through the drive-thru. Presentation stops, everyone listens to this poor kid order his whole lunch. Another kid unmutes, "Can I get an order of matzo sticks?" About 5 minutes of laughter before the presentation restarted. Maybe not quite the same thing, but yesterday a girl fell asleep with her camera on, and she was just lying there with her eyes closed and mouth open for the rest of the lecture. And I had it happen to me. I had Zoom classes and a guy had a good night of drinking, ended up on a friend's farmhouse, logged into the lecture and slept the whole time. After teaching classes, I have to do 3 hours of one-on-one tutoring with Zoom. I fell asleep twice on WED waiting for a girl to type 4 sentences. She's one button at a time and has to look for each letter, type. Fortunately for me, they were like 4-second power naps, and she was screen sharing the whole time, so she didn't see me. But she did wake me with the second one with a "Are you still there? You got real quiet." I recently was with a few other co-workers and one of them said that the average words/min typed is around 32. I made the comment, "Where do you get that from? No way, that's so slow." Another co-worker then said, "That's about what I type." I found out he types 1 key at a time and has to look for each letter. He's 33. I was shocked. Kid screamed fudge loudly when we were starting a test. Probably saw the first question then just died inside. In my primary when I was in reception my big brother told me all the swear words. And what did I do? I told every single person in my class about the words. And what did they do? You ask. They started saying it in every possible situation and getting into a hell of a lot of trouble. Must have been marvelous for my brother's year 6 friends to watch. When I was in 2nd grade someone cut me in line and I went, "What are you, a lesbian?" My teacher took me aside and said, "Do you know what that word means?" And of course I didn't, so she said, "I want you to never say that word again until you are old enough to know what it means." Let's just say I shut the fuck up. Note, we were both dudes. My brother was in class and my mother started to scream, "Your room stinks." I feel like a lot of parents don't seem to understand that even though their kids are home they're still in school. My mom's a teacher and hears stuff like this a lot. My mom's a teacher and in between her lessons she'll come to bother me. Sometimes while I'm even taking a test. Grad students are no exception. I'm in a graduate program right now and even if I make a huge announcement that I'm busy during class, my grandma will still start a huge argument, slam every dish and door in the house, and then go, "Oh, am I making too much noise? Go do class outside then." My heart hurts for all the grade school kids who still have to put up with that. It sucks major ass. I'm a professor running Zoom classes right now. Just the other day I had a student shout "piece of shit" in the middle of one of my lectures. I asked him if my lecture on research credibility was really making him that angry, and then heard, "Oh shit, my mic is dash." There should really be a mode for lectures where students have to hold down a button to talk. Edit, a few people saying you can do this already. Okay, but it's clearly not simple enough with the number of stories you hear about it going wrong. There should a thing where you put, "create lecture," or something and then everyone except the creator is muted unless they hold space down, automatically, as default, not something you have to remember whilst trying to simultaneously get ready to give a lecture. My sister was in a Zoom lecture for her university course. All were required to turn on cameras for this specific lecture, and some guy obviously forgot and lit a joint on camera to 30+ other students and his lecturer. I'm a music professor, and one day I was playing an example for my class that was about 1.5 minutes long. Afterwards I realized that I never turned on audio sharing. I apologized to the students and laughed, and one of them said, "It's cool, Professor Plug_5, it's fun to sit and watch you vibe to music." Ahaha, this happened to someone I work with. They were doing a big stakeholder meeting with some pretty big names, and this guy went to use the bathroom and didn't mute himself, so everyone heard him pee/flush. I was in a Discord server chatting with friends. Somehow, the Discord conversation started talking about Velociraptor body pillows. Now I was smart enough not to be in class when the conversation started to unfold. One of my friends, however, was in class, and left his mic on. The teacher ended up muting him, and talking to him after class. Never did found out about his class reaction to Velociraptor body pillows. I was meeting with my project group for the first time when my boyfriend busts through the door holding my cat with the cat butt aimed at me, making machine gun noises. Had to keep my mic/video off for like 10 minutes after due to uncontrollable bouts of laughter. We established the ground rule, door closed equals in meeting, after that. Not a specific incident, but I had an early elective class, so about 200 people, last semester, where half of us showed up in person and half of us were on Zoom. I guess the professor set the meeting setting for everyone to be unmuted by default when joining, because every single day we would have to hear someone on Zoom who didn't mute have breakfast with what would sound like their whole frat/sorority, presumably with their phone on the meeting in their pocket, while the technologically inept professor struggled to figure out how to mute for the first 10 minutes of class. I took a live proctored exam on Wednesday, in a room that abuts my horse's run outside. In the middle of the test, my 31-year-old horse let out the longest, loudest flatulence I've heard. 15 seconds plus. Yes, the window was open. No, the proctor couldn't see the window or the horse. For all they know, it was me. Next question is, Redditors who live on their own, what is an essential thing you don't realize is essential when you are moving out of your parents' house? My dad gave me an old toolbox when I moved out. A wrench set, a few screwdrivers and a hammer. "You never know, you might need it," is all he said as he slid it into my backseat with the last of my stuff. Moving into my first place, obviously it was an old, affordable apartment, and that toolbox helped me almost every week that I lived there. Fixed the rattling in my washing machine, replaced rusty hinges, and also repaired an eaves gutter that was breaking off, leaking rainwater in through my bedroom window. I'm not a handyman by any means, but living alone and having to figure everything out, it's a wonder what a few simple tools can do when shit occasionally happens. Cheers, Dad. My father-in-law got me a toolkit for Christmas a few years ago. I try to text him every time I use it, and he has been giddy every time. He is a pretty stoic guy, so being able to get any emotion out of him is a huge win. Definitely agree with letting him know you use and appreciate his gift. I feel like every dad has a proud moment when their kids successfully use the toolkit they gave them. My dad also gave me a handful of spare tools when I moved away for college: a small gamer, screwdriver with various bits, crescent wrench, and a small level, and he's always excited to hear about me fixing something with them. Medication for when you have a headache, stomach pain, or other things you wouldn't have the effort to go to the store when you're not well. Spices, good set of knives, spatula, and tongs. Quick food for when you're too tired to make a whole meal. Snacks and drinks for guests. Carpet spot stain cleaner. Candles, matches, batteries, and a flashlight. Things that are usually forgotten in that drawer full of junk that you open once every 3 years. About 2 years ago, I found a great deal on battery-powered lanterns on Amazon, so I bought 3, thinking, you never know. I even bought plenty of batteries for them. My husband just rolled his eyes and said they were unnecessary because we have flashlights. Last summer, Louisiana got hit with 4 hurricanes. We lost power each time. Who saved the day? Me and my lanterns. We couldn't find the flashlights because we'd moved. We lost power for 2 days during this most recent winter storm. Who saved the day? Me and my lanterns. Suck it, hubby. I know, we going back to tools, but as a tradesman, I think this is super important. Also, never buy 2 cheap tools. Cheap tools are bad, but I was taught to do the opposite. When you're first starting out, buy as many cheap tools as you can to build up your garage. If something breaks, then buy a nice version of it because you know you're using it. If it never breaks, then you saved money on buying an expensive one that you would never use. The only exception I would put to this rule is don't start doing car maintenance with a cheap socket set. If you have regular wrenches in the right sizes for what you're doing, you're good. But if all you have is a Harbor Freight socket set, you might find yourself in a position where the wrench breaks at a very bad time. If you plan on doing any car maintenance, just buy a decent set though, or at least a decent wrench. Also, cheap vice grips are close to useless, so just wait until you need one and buy a good one. A few things I wish I had had day one. Plunger. Do not forget the plunger. Towels. Both hand, dish, and body. More than one each. And the one that really screwed me, week 1. 3. A lockable outdoor garbage can. Raccoons are little bastards. Definitely cooking utensils. When I bought my own place, I wanted to make pancakes. I quickly realized that I didn't have any of the requirements to make them. Didn't have measuring cups, whisk, or even a mixing bowl. All things that I took for granted when I was living at my parents' house. After going out to buy what I needed, I spent about $50 just to make them. I'm gonna move out of my family house in like a year, and with my mother we agreed that we would buy the essentials in this 1 year. We have a huge list of literally everything, and every time I see something in a low price that I know I would need, I just buy it. I even have a mattress, and I ordered a bed too that I really wanted and is on sale. I have a room with boxes etc. waiting to be in a new house. It has helped a lot since I know that this way I won't be out of essentials. Good rhythm. At first I was always, I'll do the dishes / the groceries / the garbage tomorrow, and I had some problems the first year. Don't laze around about these, do the chores ASAP. Also, this is corny, but human contact. I moved out after high school to a city I didn't know, with no friends and no family. Man isn't made to be alone, and honest, the first few months were rough on me. Call your parents when you don't feel good, when you want, even just to say hi, it'll do you good. Getting in the habit of cleaning while you cook. If you have 3 minutes waiting for water to boil, spend those 3 minutes rinsing whatever is in the sink and loading the dishwasher. Now instead of 20 minutes of cleanup when you are finished, it is a quick 5 minutes. I do this before I eat so I don't have to clean after I eat. An extra key. Make an extra key for every lock and leave it with someone you can always get to. Hide keys are generally a bad idea. Leave the spare with someone you trust, preferably someone with a car. Otherwise you might find yourself locked out at 10 at night, after a long day, in the rain, with an armload of groceries, and a landlord who doesn't answer the phone. I had personal experience with that. We lost our mailbox key 1 week after moving into our place. Was a pain in the butt.